Visiting the healer, working that night, an older woman with round cheeks and a thick Georgia accent. Cass takes us to the dorms. The girls' section is upstairs to the left, and the boys to the right. A common area filled with couches, tables, overstuffed chairs, and 2 TVs separate the two. There's even a fireplace in the corner. A handful of students mill about. Some play cards, others video games on the smaller of the TVs, and if you are even watching the news, on mute. Guess even my generation has to do things old school when cell phones are taken out of the equation. Footage of Blackmore Academy plays across the screen. Construction crews work to rebuild the walls while text scrolls underneath it. After the attack, much of the old building, including the library, was destroyed. Once the work is completed, Blakemore will reopen as a leadership school for humans and soups alike. Up next, coverage of the upcoming wedding of the century between Acadiana Blackmore and Sebastian Locke. Blackmore has been integral in the process to change the school after the fallout from the Unleashing. A girl with long brown hair appears on the screen, and I definitely remember the paranormal princess now. It always irritated me the way the media talked about her, dissecting what she wore, who she dated, and speculating about all sorts of junk they had no business poking their noses into. The way they handled her breakup with that golden boy dude nearly made me throw my cell across the bedroom. I guess after they saw who he really was, they felt pretty stupid. Then again, it is the media, so there isn't much hope of that. Drama sells, after all. I roll my eyes away from the TV and focus back on Cass and Rafe. The latter is watching the TV as well, brow furrowed. I'm about to ask him what's on his mind when Cass distracts me. Now, stairs can be tricky, he says. You can always just float up for now. That's usually easier than trying to walk up them on your first day. Rafe laughs, snapping out of whatever memory he was clearly trapped in. It's true. It took me 3 or 4 tries to climb the stairs at Blakemore. If I'd realized I could float, I would have. Should have figured that out on my own. Like I said before, most everything around campus is spelled to make it easier for us to touch things, Kaz says. But the stairs are good practice for you when you start to learn to handle objects still in the realm of the living. I look at my feet, then at the door. The rules definitely keep my head spinning. If I can stand on the first floor, why would it be difficult walking up the stairs? Either way, flying sounds pretty cool, so I might as well do that. Everything in your room is spelled as well to make things easier, though, Kaz says. So getting into bed won't be a battle. Things are hard enough without having to lose sleep. Well, that's good. Do I need to know anything about, like, putting on the brakes if I do float? I squint one eye. I'm not going to slip straight out of the school if I do something wrong, right? Fly off into the atmosphere and never to be seen again. Cass grins. Shouldn't be a problem. For some reason, it's just a lot easier to master the stair thing. Master than the stair thing. Just stop the way you have been. Your room's on the 3rd floor, 305. If you have any questions, I should be able to help. I give Kaz a mock salute. Thanks, Chief. Guess I'll see you at 2 in the morning at breakfast. I'll see you 2 in the morning at breakfast. We all say goodnight, and I watch the 2 boys drift toward their door on the other side of the building. I try not to let my gaze linger on Rafe. Try, but fail miserably. The attraction fluttering through me sparks even more questions about my life. Was I romantically involved? Did I date? When I can't remember, I drag my gaze away from Rafe, then face my own staircase. It can't be that hard. Not if I'm already standing on the floor. Curious, I try to grab the door handle, but my fingers slide right through it. I scowl at it. This isn't over. We will meet again. With a snort, I glide past the wood and follow the stairs up to the 3rd floor. But not without sneezing, of course. Doors line the hall, each with pearl white numbers across them. At least some things are easy around here. I pause at 3:05, wondering if I should knock, wondering if I can knock. I focus and give it a whirl, but again my knuckles can't make purchase with the wood. Nothing for it. I'm way too tired to care, so I just poke my head inside. Empty and unbelievably massive. My jaw drops as I drift forward. Though I'm missing my memories, I know for sure I've never seen a bedroom quite this big. Really, it kind of looks like 2 rooms shoved together. Matching beds are pushed against a set of massive windows looking out on a sky thick with stars. A single couch covered in pillows and plush blankets separates them. What I assume are closets are half open on either side of the room, though I can't imagine why on earth we'd need them. Then again, I still don't have the rules all sorted, so maybe we can change clothes. I shake my head and float toward one of the windows. A forest stretches out around Locklear, disappearing down the other side of the mountain. Something moves in the moonlight, dark, deeper than the other shadows. It twists, tornado-like. I squint to see better, curious. Billy! Haya's voice comes from behind, and I jump a little, or jump as much as a hovering ghost can. I swirl around to face her. It's a little hard to stop, kind of like oversteering a boat on a lake. A memory coasts across the room, almost like someone's projecting an old film onto the walls, the floor. I'm on a speedboat, spinning the wheel, laughing along with a much smaller voice. A boy's voice. Tears fill my eyes and Haya touches my shoulder. Did you just experience a life flash? I swallow past the lump in my throat. A what? Sorry, you're new to this. Haya taps one of her temples. Sometimes we get flashbacks of our former lives, especially if we're missing pieces of them. Instead of complete memories in our heads, they kind of play out in front of us. It's always riveting to observe someone experiencing their first. It's a bit jarring, isn't it? I pull my hair away from my face, tugging until the roots hurt. Very jarring. I just wish I could remember the whole thing. Anything other than my name, really. I'm sorry, Aya says. It's far from ideal, especially when attempting to calculate your unfinished business. One more mystery in the grand puzzle to solve. If it makes you feel any better, I marched right past the door to the afterlife, somehow managed to completely miss it. I half gasp, half laugh, remembering Cass's comment from earlier. You're kidding. Not at all. Aya settles on her bed. I was distracted. I died of a brain aneurysm in one of my classes, and I was right in the middle of this mathematical conundrum I was attempting to work out. Glancing at my mattress, I attempt to sit too. It feels pretty solid under me, so I release my weight and, much to my relief, stay in place. Score. Thank goodness for ghost-friendly spells. Couldn't someone, show you the way back? Aya adjusts her glasses. Cass could have, but I decided I wasn't ready to pass on quite yet, which became my unfinished business, I suppose. Not to mention the fact that the study of ghosts is extremely interesting. We're still ourselves without our corporeal bodies. I think that's how I say that word, corporeal bodies. A piece of us is missing. She taps the end of her nose. So I stick around to find out more and help other people. I mean, we all have to help other students at Locklear finish their business. But I'm kind of a special case. I'll start training to be a ghost guide after I'm done with all my classes. And since my body's already been secured and moved to Locklear, I don't really have to worry too much about the Xers. Is that all it takes, I ask? I mean, to decide to be a ghost guide. Just wanting to be one. Aya pulls her glasses off completely and cleans the lenses on her shirt. No, actually it's common work out the science behind it, but in practice it's fairly easy. You just think about what you want to wear, and, well, she stands and squeezes her eyes shut. Her blouse ripples, shifting into a white tank while her jeans soften into a pair of pajama bottoms. The bathroom's over there. We don't actually need to use it or anything. Even though we can eat, we don't experience typical body functions. But it's nice for privacy. I want to push the question, but figure she might disappear on me or something if I do. Instead, I try for a much less invasive inquiry. Can we see ourselves in the mirror in there? I'm afraid not. Aya pulls off her glasses, then slides under the sheets. Then I have a weird favor. Don't remember what you look like. My eyes widen. Dang, good guess. Aya smiles and slides her glasses back on. There's a small gap between her front teeth I didn't notice before. I had enough context clues to form an appropriate theory. You have brown eyes, like really dark brown, which looks awesome since you're a blonde. Though your brows are dark, so that color might come from hydrogen peroxide. I chuckle and hold a fistful of my hair in front of my face. It's not exactly curly, but not straight either. Kind of an in-between wave that reaches all the way to my elbows. That feels right. Think this texture is natural, though. It's gorgeous. Oh, and you have a little scar on your upper lip. She touches the spot on her own face, almost like you had surgery to correct a cleft palate. I mimic her gesture, feeling the raised surface, trying to pull up a memory. Nothing comes, so I look back up at Aya. Thanks, not just for telling me what I look like. You're a great second wave welcome crew. No problem. She scoots down further under the sheets. Sorry again about Landon, too. He's not a nice guy per se. She yawns and slides off her glasses. But he's not the nightmare you met in the hall tonight. He's had a rough time since Aaron. I arc a brow at her. Unconvinced, but also massively curious at another mention of her former roommate. Tall and blonde are both my type, but brooding makes me want to punch the pout right off his perfect face. And since we physically ran into each other, I assume I can actually make this happen if he gives me a good enough reason. Not that I would ever use violence as an answer. At least I don't think I would. But I'm not losing sleep over a punchable face. I have another mountain to climb. Eyes squinted shut. I focused on changing my clothes the way Aya did. A small breeze brushes across my body, and then my arms and legs are entirely bare. I glance down to see pajama shorts